one of the things that we should get used to is, one, knowing that any manager should be linked to Man United. And guess what, this time round, it's Sir Jim Ratcliffe attracted to Ange Postecoglou, the manager of Tottenham Hotspur. He's going to have to join the list of many that I'm yet to obviously unveil to you here onto the United Matters channel. Scott McTominay. Oh, is it Scott McTominay? No, it's all about Kobbie Mainoo, Mike Keegan referring to us as how good he is and how he's going to have to get a big head on young shoulders, because he's one of the few United young players that are going to have to be allowed to do interviews, and the reason has been given. And the Northern Ireland manager, that is Michael O'Neill, has going to have to dismiss a report that Evans is gonna really hang up his boots very, very soon. Let's say close to 200 likes. Smash on this video. Continue to subscribe so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. The Muslims, Ramadan Mubarak, and the Christians, we cover you all in the precious blood of Jesus Christ. And may the living true God bless you abundantly. And we are just days to Easter, and you guys are really going to enjoy your moment and hope you really fulfill whatever desires. May the Lord God fulfill all the desires that you really have, and those you're gonna have to present to Him while you are still fasting. The same applies to the Muslims. Now let's start it off with Ange Postecoglou. Rob Dawson, correspondent of Man United for the ESPN, has told us that Sir Jim Ratcliffe is determined to be as ambitious as possible with his appointment to key positions and official approaches for candidates like Ange Postecoglou, who has been at Tottenham Hotspur for less than a year, have not been ruled out. So we all understand what exactly is happening at the club of Man United, that people believe Erik Ten Hag's job is really not safe. Though for me, I believe it's safe and is going nowhere, but that won't stop me from bringing you stories that indicate his job is really under scrutiny, and very many journalists are going to have to be linking him to lots and lots of managers. The list of managers is really endless. De Zerbi, Thomas Frank, those are in the Premier League. Then there is Zinedine Zidane. There is Almiron. Is it Miguel something of Sporting Lisbon? There is Hans Flink. There is Nagelsmann. There is Zinedine Zidane. There is Antonio Conte. And now Ange Postecoglou comes into play. Jose Mourinho was at a certain point linked to Man United. There is one more manager forgotten, the head. His name is off my head, but he was going to hit very many managers are going to hit to be linked to the club of Man United. And this really just shows you that they are just doing what we call a guesswork. You can't tell me that a club like Man United is really looking for replacement of Erik Ten Hag, and they're really having a short list of 10 to 9 managers. That's out. That's a lie. And going in for Ange Postecoglou, being linked to the club of Man United, that is really way off. You can't come out and compare the works of Erik Ten Hag in his first season to the works of Tottenham Hotspur. You get? Because in the first season, Erik Ten Hag finished third, won a Carabao Cup, played in the FA Cup final, and was knocked out of the UEFA Europa League quarterfinals because of injuries. You understand? So this Ange Postecoglou guy, the best he was going to hit for Spurs to be fourth. I think to be fifth right now. That is it. He's fifth on the Premier League table. That is Ange Postecoglou, fifth. That's the best he was going to hit to produce. Now, how do you dare tell me that you bring in a manager who is going to battle for the top 4 positions, and you sack a manager who is into the semi-finals of the FA Cup and is fighting to obviously get into the top 4 position, take you back in the Champions League? How do you sack such a manager? That is the hugest question. How do you sack a manager like him? It's really one of the worst decisions that will ever be made in the world of football, because you are trying to replace a professional with an amateur. Because right now, Ange Postecoglou is an amateur to Erik Ten Hag. You know what has gone ahead to to blindfold very many people of Man United is the style of play this guy's going to hit to initiate at the club of Tottenham Hotspur. Ten Hag has his style of play. He explained it that he wants to build from the back, pass that ball to the people in the midfield, and then be the best transitional team in the world, meaning that some quick passing and Casemiro, Bruno Fernandes, or Kobbie Mainoo are supposed to release his front three within a click or a blink of an eye. That's what he was talking about. And Ten Hag has been performing badly because of injuries, and we also hit that Spurs was winning its games, but when they went ahead to really get injuries and get other players suspended, Spurs started to lose games. You remember when Van der Ven got an injury, Udogie got an injury, James Maddison got an injury, then Christian Romero was suspended for like 3-4 games. Spurs went ahead not to win in the next 6 games, if I'm not mistaken. They lost 4 in a row. So, the same thing that is going to hit to affect Man United because of injuries. If it happens to Ange Postecoglou, he'll do the same. No manager is injury prone, and no manager is immune to injuries. Injuries affect every team. Look at the team of Man City. You remember the games they went ahead to really lose and draw when Rodri Cascante was out. Out of the 6 games, they won 1, lost 1, and drew 3 when Rodri was away. You understand? So, don't underestimate the power of injuries. And for everyone who is blindfolded that this guy is really playing some good football, wait this weekend when you are playing with Brentford. If you see Lisandro Martinez into that team, Casemiro and Kobbie Mainoo to the double pivot, Rasmus Højlund leading the line, you're gonna see what Ten Hag football or style of play is like. Start off from the game of Spurs, 2-2 draw at Old Trafford ever since those players returned. Lisandro Martinez, Casemiro, and Luke Shaw. You saw how good we played as a club of Man United. We played very well and went ahead to put up a shift that everyone went ahead to appreciate. So I really find it very, very bad, very, very insane for a person to come out and really not give this manager his flowers because he deserves them, and saying that he should bring in Ange Postecoglou, that's really out. One of the things we've gone ahead to fail to do as a club of Man United is to back our manager and keep him here for the best time possible. For the very first time, I want to see the club of Man United doing that, backing the manager for the best time possible. That's what I want this club of Man United to do, and when they do it, I'll be very excited that Erik Ten Hag will fail after being given what he deserves. I just want one season when Erik Ten Hag is working under a competent board. That's it. I don't want anything more. How can I really say Ten Hag failed when you're bringing a manager who is going to be working under a competent board? How do you dare come out and say all of that? So I feel like there is something that people are really not giving a lot of attention to detail, and it's all about Erik Ten Hag working with a new board. Now, I've gone ahead to see a story coming in through from Sam C reports. I think he is one of those at the United stand, right? And he's somewhere a little bit close to Man United. He has come out and told us the following, that amidst all reports going around, there is a story that everyone needs to read and really grasp very well. That contenders for the Manchester United job if Ten Hag sacked are Gareth Southgate, Hans Flink, Robert De Zerbi, and Julian Nagelsmann. You hear? Now, you see, they've gone ahead to give us 4, but I've gone ahead to give you a list of 9-10 names. Despite the potential options, Ten Hag has significant backing from the majority of the dressing room, which could prove instrumental, particularly if the team achieve a top 5 finish or win the FA Cup this season. Ten Hag's hand is stronger now than it was when Ineos arrived. So, it is said the dressing room is backing him, and this is a very huge instrumental. This is very instrumental in a decision of really sacking any manager, because before you sack the manager, you have to first talk to the players, and the players will tell you love the manager and we think that he should stay here. So looks like he's being backed, and if he really clinches any of the top slots to win the Champions League and win the FA Cup, they feel like he should be here. And I think that's really very, very written out all over the world. And I see a lot of potential. I see a lot of potential in players like those. And I think Ten Hag is going nowhere. He's going nowhere because I believe even if we don't qualify for the Champions League and we don't win the FA Cup, he's not going to be sacked. Why should he be sacked? He has showed you that when he's having his best team, he comes out and really performs very well. When his best team is away, he doesn't really perform well, meaning that he doesn't have the real backup players to come in through and really do the job and replace those ones that are into the starting 11 for the club of Man United. So Ten Hag is really having the backing of this side of Man United, and the players really love him die. And that is it. Then Mike Egan, who works for the Mail Sports, has told us that although reluctant in the past to let their young players speak to the press with their selection, Man United have had no problem letting Kobbie Mainoo speak, with the club believing he's more mature than his years. That is it. The guy is more mature than his years. We just have to admit he's that good on and off the pitch. On the pitch, he's really great, and off the pitch, he's also great. And people have come out to realize that Rokani was right. This guy has to go ahead and really get into what we call the Euro squad, and he has to get straight into the starting 11 of England because all the players that play in that position, he's better than them. You can't tell me that Conor Gallagher, who went ahead to play into that position, is better than Kobbie Mainoo. I think it was like Kobbie Mainoo had not gone ahead to partner Declan Rice before, and I know tomorrow when England is playing against Belgium, it's going to be Declan Rice. Sorry about that. It's going to be Declan Rice and Kobbie Mainoo, the double pivot. You understand? But speaking to the media, for him, it shows you how good he is and how good he is at grasping things. I know these players are taken through media lessons when they're still young from the academy, and for him it looks like he has a big head on young shoulders. Young in age, he's just 18, but he has gone ahead to provide better interviews than players at Man United that are really some 6-7 years older than him. It shows you that there is a leadership mentality in him, self-belief, and I think Ten Hag has gone ahead to mold him into one of those players that he's going to be one of those that are not going to leave the club of Man United. And these are the kind of players that Ferguson wanted to groom. Like I told you, Ferguson has always come out on several occasions and said the biggest disappointment in him was Ronaldo, because he thought that he had gone ahead to groom another Ryan Giggs who was willing to play the rest of his career, the club of Man United. And I think we've gone ahead to have Kobbie Mainoo, who is wanting to play the rest of his life for the club of Man United. And I think the likes of Rasmus Højlund too, he supports the club and loves it. He's going nowhere. But the question mark is on Alejandro Garnacho, who has come out and really told Eston Edul at the Argentine national team that he dreams to play for Real Madrid at a certain point X, and he's keeping his cards open and he's not keeping them on his chest. So for Kobbie Mainoo, I'm really excited to have him as one of our players, because he would love to really climax his career at the club of Man United. And with all what he's doing, right, nothing is going to really stop him from becoming the kind of the kind of player that we deserve to be. So for Kobbie Mainoo, it shows you more qualities that he has on and off the pitch. And don't be surprised that 4 or 5 years from now, when he's like 23, 24, he's made the captain of Man United. He's a true definition of Man United and the players they really want to thrive with the club of Man United. From the academy, he supports the club. He has gone ahead to go through all the ranks of the club, and here he comes to really embrace what we call the grand stage in there. And that is Kobbie Mainoo for you. And tomorrow, I just can't wait to see him start for the side of England. And I know he's really going to start into that beautiful game against Belgium. And lastly, let's talk about Johnny Evans, a man who's really playing very well, and we've been told by Mike O'Neill, that he is the manager for the Northern Ireland, that he has dismissed a report that claimed Man United defender John Evans was going to retire at the end of the season. I see more 2 years in John Evans. I think he can still take it to the age of 38, even 40. If he's playing at Man United like that at the age of 36, then he still has more 2 years in him to see to it that he plays in and out to really produce the best that we deserve from a player like him. I really love everything John Evans is going to do to the club of Man United. And if I'm Man United, I offer him 1 more year. I offer him 1 more year on his contract because he's going to have to work himself out like that. And there is no doubt that he's really one of those players that was groomed from the academy of Man United, and then later in the wee age of his career, he decided to return and is really doing wonders. He's really one of those that you'll ever want to watch. So wait and see how that pans out. But tell me your thoughts about Sir Jim Ratcliffe adding Ange Postecoglou to the long Ten Hag replacement list at Man United. What do you make about it? Would you get in Ange Postecoglou and sack Eric Ten Hag? In the comment section below. And what are your thoughts about this guy, Kobbie Mainoo, being given a role to obviously do the interviews everywhere concerning Man United because of his young age and how good he is with a big head on young shoulders? And lastly, John Evans, would you want him to retire, or you would want to give United 1 or more 2 years in there as one of those defenders that come in through any time will require what we call a patch? I'm out. Good night. See you when you see me. Bye-bye.